What is up, guys? My name is Civil Let's Plays and welcome back to another tirade video. Today's tirade I'm going to be going on is about where Project Reality is going. And I'm not talking about like where it's going to like run to, like that was really that was going to be a really bad joke. Oh, that was so bad. Okay, you know what? Forget it. I'm going to be talking about where Project Reality is going, like as in like what's going to be happening with the game. Are people going to stop playing it once Squad is fully released, and like what's going to go on with the community when all this stuff happens in a year or so. So, my thoughts and opinions on Squad. Let's talk about that first. Squad is toxic. I'm going to be completely honest with you. Squad is going to be so toxic when it comes out. I'm kind of scared for that game. And it's not like the guys coming over from Project Reality. And it's not the developers. The developers are doing an awesome job with that game. That game's really cool. It's super cool. But it's gotten to the point where I've completely realized it is not going to be Project Reality 2. It is not going to be the replacement for Project Reality. Project Reality is going to stay where it is. It's going to keep growing. And Squad's going to become its own separate thing. It's not going to be like Project Reality at all. I know the idea of Squad was to be kind of a successor to Project Reality, but it's gone off in its own direction right now. It's not going to be anywhere close to Project Reality's successor. And there's a couple of reasons I think that, and I have this theory that they're just going to go jump off on their own, and it's not going to be anything like Project Reality anymore. And that's the number one reason why I say Squad is going to become toxic and not at all like Project Reality 2 is because in the earlier stages of Squad, when you like had it, like they were trying to get the money for it, raising the money, like when it was first released and announced, you had all these players from Project Reality and from the Project Reality community who came over to Squad, saw what was happening with Squad, and they were really interested in it and interested in how it would become the successor to the Project Reality. So you had all these guys at the start from the Project Reality community backing this game, supporting it, and playing it, and that was all good. The game was good back then, when it just had these Project Reality guys who actually knew what Squad was supposed to be like, and had played the predecessor to Squad, Project Reality, and they had played that. They had experience with this type of game, and they knew what to expect from this game. It wasn't like all brand new and they didn't know what to do with it. Like, these people were experienced with this, they knew what it was supposed to be like, and it was all good at the start. And then, not bashing on any other YouTubers here, but you have some YouTubers that came over and they don't fully understand what Squad was supposed to be, and they kind of turned the community toxic, to be honest. Like, now we have a bunch of players coming over to play Squad who think it's supposed to be like a Battlefield 4 game. And Squad is not a Battlefield 4 game. I will tell you that. If you just like recently bought Squad and you're playing it and you think it is like a Battlefield 4 game, it's not. Newsflash, it is not even close to that. It's not supposed to be like that at all. It's supposed to be like Project Reality, except with just better graphics and a little more that you can do to it than you can in Project Reality. But all these new players who are watching like Level Cap and like Fly Daily and Baron Von Games, I mean, not bashing on them at all. Like, this was not their intention. But these players coming over from their subscribers, coming over from their channels, watching their videos on the game, are getting the wrong impression of the game, and they're assuming it's a Battlefield 4 kind of game. It's not tactical and teamwork based, and that is completely wrong. That is the complete opposite idea of what Squad was aiming for in the beginning. And yeah, Squad is getting a lot of attention. It's a pretty big game right now. You have a lot of people giving it a lot of attention. It's getting a lot of players. But now all these Project Reality players who came over from Project Reality, the ones who started Squad and who were the main backers and the first people to support the game, are seeing this toxic community emerge in Squad now, of players who think it's Battlefield, and they don't want to work as a team. They want to take the sniper kits, they want to go Rambo and kill as many people as they can, and it's ruining the game. And all these players who played it in the beginning, who were the hardcore tactical guys from Project Reality, they're not happy with that anymore, and they're getting scared away from the game. And that's gonna hurt Squad, I think, like from the standpoint that they were from. Let me rephrase that. From the goals they were trying to meet at the beginning, they're not going to be able to meet those, and it's not going to be what they envisioned at the beginning because of this new community coming in, assuming it's a new Battlefield, and playing it like it's Battlefield and not like Project Reality. And that's going to hurt the game. It's going to scare away the people they were like aiming for as an audience. The Project Reality players, the people who were going to use Squad as the successor to Project Reality since Project Reality 2 fell out. And it's not good for people like me who wanted it to be the successor to Project Reality. It's just not going to be that. And so that hurt Squad, in my opinion, based on what they were going for and what they envisioned. But it helps Project Reality a bit, because people now are starting to realize, like, Project Reality is growing a lot. And whether you disagree with it or you agree with it, whether you hate him or love him, a lot of that's because of Blue Drake. And I've met numerous people who are Blue Drake fans and said they played this game because they watched a Blue Drake video, they saw the game, they downloaded it, they thought it was really cool, and they played on their own. And I myself could say that. I watched Blue Drake videos. I found, like, I don't even know what I was looking for. I was probably looking for some tactical military game, or probably watching an Insurgency video, and I found Blue Drake. I found a Blue Drake video on Project Reality. I watched it. I was like, this is a good game. This is exactly what I was looking for in milsim games, and like a military tactical FPS. And I jumped on it as soon as I saw that video. I got it. I downloaded it because of Blue Drake, and I played it. And, you know, here I am now. I have over 40 Project Reality videos on my channel with a playlist of Project Reality videos that's over a day long. So I've gotten really into this game because of Blue Drake, and he's helping this community grow. And though a lot of people may refer to his fans and the people who play on his server as toxic, he has brought a lot to the game besides toxic players. Yeah, he brings some toxic players. I understand that. I've met some of them. They're really toxic, and they're really stupid and retarded sometimes, but, you know, he's bringing a lot of attention to this game. He brought a lot of good players too. Let's think about that. Everyone just tends to think of like the bads. They don't look on at the goods of stuff often. But he has brought a lot of good players to the game. He's brought a lot of attention. He's brought a lot of changes to it, and that's really awesome. That's really good. Project Reality is growing ever since it became standalone, and that's awesome to see. There's probably more players than really ever playing Project Reality, and so I think Project Reality is going in the right direction. The game is growing. It's getting better. There's a lot of updates now. The game's like kind of coming together better than it was before, and I'd say Project Reality's at a high point right now. This is one of the high points for the game in its history. And that's really awesome to see, because this game deserves that attention. It deserves to be this good, because it is such a good game. And I think, though there will be some like toxic players coming in the future, cancerous players, they'll eventually weed out the ones who think it's Battlefield 4 and that kind of stuff. They think it's all about the kills and grabbing a sniper kit. They'll weed out eventually, and we'll be left with the players who understand what Project Reality is and what it's supposed to be. And everything is going to be awesome at that point. The game's going to keep getting updates like it has. It's going to continue to grow, continue to get better. And that's really nice to see. I don't think this community is going anywhere either. Even though Squad is supposed to be the successor to Project Reality, I don't see it taking away the Project Reality community. Project Reality is here to stay, in my opinion. Even Squad, I don't think, can replicate the community and the teamwork that Project Reality has. That's the beauty of Project Reality. People don't like really think about this, but it is so beautiful to see it. It hasn't been in any other game except maybe Arma. That's really like the only other game I think that could say they also have this feature in their game. But it's not even an in-game feature. It's like completely separate from the game, but it's so beautiful to see. Project Reality has this rare community and this rare feature to the game where all these players from all over the world who have no idea who they are, who they're playing with, they're from completely separate clans. They can all come together in like squads and work together and use teamwork to actually work as a team and help their team to win the game. Like, that is not a thing in Call of Duty or Battlefield. That's never been replicated in any other game before. No other tactical FPS game has really done that before, except maybe Arma or Tactical Battlefield. Those are pretty much the same thing as Project Reality in that standpoint. But like no other military game or FPS game has replicated that, where you can have players come from all over, regardless of clan, regardless of their country, and they can come together, work as a team instantly, and actually win the game for their team as a team and work as a team. That's amazing to see. It really is. Like, it just, when you think about it, it is mind-blowing. When, like, next time you join a squad, think about it. Think about how many people in this squad you have actually met before and played before. Like, you know none of them from real life, probably. My guess is you know absolutely none of them from real life. You maybe played with these guys 2 or 3 times on the server before, but, like, you have, like, no actual connection to each other before you're in that squad. And when you're in that squad, you're a team and you're working together, and that's something that is pretty exciting and pretty unique to see. All these strangers coming together and working as a team for a game to win the game. That's pretty cool to see. That's something that can't be replicated by a game. It has to be the community that does that. And that's one thing that's so amazing about Project Reality to me, is that fact, like that sense of teamwork when you're playing with strangers, the teamwork that occurs and how you use it to win the game and how much it actually impacts the game. It's really amazing. So, I think Project Reality is going in a right direction. The game's only going to get better at this point. The community's not going anywhere. We're here to stay. I think the Project Reality community is like a rock. It's not going to break unless, like, they actually come out with, like, a Project Reality 2 just with better graphics, that kind of stuff. But I don't see that in Squad, and I don't see that kind of thing happening anywhere in the near future anytime soon. I think Project Reality is here to stay. And the game is like, what? The game's 15 years old? 14 years old? I don't know. I'm 16. I actually literally turned 16 today. So, I mean, happy birthday to me. Yay! Happy birthday comments in the comments to make me feel good about myself. But I'm like 16. This game's almost as old as I am. There have been people playing this for 15 years, essentially. Think about that. They have been playing this game for 15 years. This game has been around. Project Reality's been around for more than a decade. And it's never died during that time. This game is not going anywhere. It's here to stay. This game is something that can't be replicated by any other game, which makes it so unique and which keeps us coming back to the game. Like, that's what keeps you interested in the game. Each game is different. You're playing with new people. Each game is different in its own sense, and they keep adding stuff to the game, and it's never gonna stop. It's here to stay. It's only gonna get better at this point. That's my own opinion of it. This game's here to stay. It's gonna get better. The community is not going anywhere. It's gonna be as fun 10 years from now as it was today when I was playing. It's pretty cool. Hasn't been done before. Even, in my opinion, even Arma can't do that. It's pretty cool. It's an amazing thing to see. So, hope you guys enjoyed this tirade of where I think Project Reality is going. Basically, to sum it up, I don't think Squad will be the successor to Project Reality. Squad is going to become toxic and polluted by these nerds who think it's Battlefield. And they're going to be in for a rude awakening when it's not Battlefield, and they absolutely hate the game, and then all these Project Reality players who are playing with them absolutely hate them, and then because they hate them and they see they keep coming back, they'll hate the game, and they'll go back to Project Reality. And then I think Project Reality is here to stay. The community is only going to grow larger and stronger, and the game's only going to get better from this point on. So that's going to be it for my tirade. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I really don't understand why you guys actually watch these videos. It is literally just me talking about some stupid shit to my computer screen, and just like, I don't know, it's like not, I don't even have like jokes in here often. You guys just like watch, like to watch me talk, and I don't get it. It's really weird. I don't get how like vloggers do this and how people actually watch this. I can't even, it's hard for me to even watch myself do anything, so I don't know. But thank you guys for watching, even if you do like, I don't know. Thank you for watching, I guess.